Hey guys, welcome to my Hypercar Monza lap guide for Le Mans Ultimate, and today we're in the Porsche Hypercar because since the Ferrari had its BOP adjustments, this car seems to be the faster one, at least around Monza, so we're driving it today. Now for the first turn, we're looking for this white line that goes across the track before the 150 boards. We're going to be braking right at this white line here, and braking very hard, and holding the brake for quite a long time, and then trailing into the apex at the first turn. We don't want to touch that sausage curb, but we want to turn really hard and tight. Make sure you don't carry too much speed in. You want to bring the car back towards the right a little bit to open up your entry line here. Again, don't touch the sausage curb on this apex, but use all the regular curb, and turn very tight very quickly, and again, don't carry too much speed in. On exit, we can use all of the exit curb, but don't touch the sand. It'll obviously slow you down, but if you touch the sand, it'll also invalidate your lap. One thing that I've found driving this car compared to the Ferrari Hypercar so far is that I kind of find that you have to turn a little bit more with this car, and I also find that it's just a little bit nicer and more stable on throttle. Maybe it's just me, but that's kind of what I found so far. Alright, so for the next braking point, we're looking for this 150 board, and we're braking just after that. Braking quite hard here, but it's also kind of easy to lock up, so just be careful there. Keeping all the way to the outside, then trailing in. And again, we're avoiding that inside sausage curb, getting as close as we can to it though. We want to really pull the car towards the left here to open up our entry line for the next apex right here. Get on the throttle quite early. Don't touch that inside curb here. With the LMP2s and GTEs, you can actually afford to cut over that sausage curb, but in this car, it just really doesn't like the sausage curbs. So try avoid getting onto it, get as near as you can to it, and cut that line as straight as you can. On exit, be very careful, it's very easy to snap into oversteer, and again, don't get onto that sand on exit or it will invalidate your lap. Now here, we're looking for either orange mark on the fence on the inside or that lighter patch of grass on the outside, and that's kind of what we're using as a braking reference here, braking where I've marked on screen and then carrying some speed into this turn. That orange mark on the fence here, that is kind of where we're trying to apex and starting to get back on throttle, but again, balance your steering and throttle input so you don't snap into oversteer or go wide. Don't drop your left side wheels onto that flat green area because that will be where your lap becomes invalid, so use the white strips. And here we're braking one or 1.5 car lengths before that 50 board on the left there, and we don't want to apex too early here. We're going to carry some speed in, and you start to grip up about mid-turn. We want to go around that inside curb because if you touch that thing at all, it'll just push you wide and you're going to end up on the sand on exit. On exit, you don't want to go into that flat green area again because that will invalidate your lap, so just run your left side wheels up to the white strips there on the green part of the curb. Now down the back straight we go. This track doesn't have that many turns, but the ones we do have are quite tricky ones. For the next one, there is a little bump in the braking zone, so you might lock up, so just be careful. We're looking for that board that goes across the track, or that 150 board on the fence there, and we're braking a little bit after that 150 board, about a car length. Hard on the brakes initially, just watch out for that bump. You can cut your left side wheels just a little bit over that green part of the curb on the inside there. Don't hold the brake for too long because it's easy to just cost yourself a couple tenths here like I did on this particular lap by holding the brake for a little bit too long. But also don't carry too much speed in because you'll end up too wide on exit, too close to that curb too early, which means you'll have to have a big lift mid-turn here. So open up your entry line just a little bit, enough to get yourself as close to flat out through this right bend as you can. I don't think you can quite take it fully flat out, it'll be very risky to do so. Now on exit here, we don't want to go over those anti-cut strips on the left. Just cut over that lower part of the curb and you should be alright. Now on exit, don't go too far out to the right. Again, you kind of want to avoid getting your right side wheels on that flat part of the green curb. Just avoid touching the sand, that will be a lap invalidation. And by the end of the curb, you want to make sure your left side wheels are within the white line because that can also be a lap invalidation. For the final braking zone, we're looking for the 100 board right there on the left. And we're braking either just at or fractionally before we get to that 100 board. Keep all the way to the left here, trail your brakes in towards the turn, but make sure you carry some speed using the downforce. Apex quite early in the turn, but don't get up on that inside curb because it'll push you out wide. Once the front starts to unload, you can get onto the throttle, but be careful, it's very easy to snap into oversteer here, so really balance the steering and throttle inputs on exit to get the smoothest and fastest exit, and make sure you carry your momentum all the way to the outside of the track here, and don't touch the sand on the left because that will, it'll probably invalidate your lap, but it'll also sort of pull you off the track and will really cost you down the straight here leading on to your next lap. This lap was a nice 1:33.2. I'll play through the whole lap again like I always do without the interruptions, and then after this lap we'll take a look at the pit entry guide for this car at this track. for the pit entry in the hypercars here, we'll take the last turn as we normally would, but make sure we pull tighter towards the right on exit. We're looking for that orange mark on the fence there, and then braking a car length or half a car length after that, really hard on the brakes initially, and then making sure we trail down so that we don't lock up the brakes. And then we'll be 60 km per hour at the sign, and that is the lap guide for Monza and the hypercars. One other thing that I might mention here is that it did take a couple laps for the tyres to get up to optimal grip. The out lap, the hot lap, and even the second hot lap were not my fastest laps, and I couldn't get the most out of them at that point. So yeah, it might take a couple laps before you'll really get the most out of it. Anyway, I hope this has helped you out. As always, leave a comment if you have anything you'd like to say or ask, and I'll see you soon.